Welcome to Kautilya. I am Lakshman. Today I would like to give you some kind of information. I would like to tell you some reasons what is the prominence of methodology, languages depending on methodology and its policy. Languages are more, particularly English language is a noble language and it is a global language, and to teach English grammar, to teach English textbook, to teach any kind of concept from the language is very important through methodology. Methodology is a particular scientific subject. Even though there is a theory, that theory can be taken into the scientific reasons, because every principle, every pedagogical principle has to be known by the teacher and student also. So all the students, those who completed their education from D.Ed and B.Ed courses, they have to practice methodology. Through methodology only they have to give the guidelines to the students whenever they are appointed for the post of teaching. Teachers must know what are the reasons to know methodology, what are the reasons after having known the methodology for teaching, what kind of applications are better, what kind of practice is better for teaching the language through methodology has to be known by every teacher. So for these competitive examinations, nowadays aspirants are facing many troubles because of lack of information and different kinds of applications and dimensions, twistings and such kind of diplomatic applications of questioning. So to face this kind of problems and to meet the competitive examination point of view, every aspirant has to practice what is methodology and what are the dimensions in methodology must be known. But mostly nowadays students can have no good awareness of getting good marks in methodology part, because so many dimensions are there according to psychological aspects in our applicable time we have to know, and we must have some kind of reasons and applications and dimensions from the part of the lesson and from the parts of the methodology. Methodology subject is only for denoting a kind of reason, that is how to teach the lessons in the classroom. How to teach is only the motto of methodology. Studying the attitudes of the children, studying the environments, studying the nature of subject, studying the instructions from the government side, all these are very important aspects to teach the language through methodology. So that what I say, dear friends, all of you must know how many lessons are designed for methodology. From each lesson what sort of information is given, from that information what sort of dimensions, what sort of questioning manners and what sort of particular applications to the given questions in the examination has to be known. And mostly whatever the particular subject is methodology, that methodology has to be used in daily life and that has to be taken into teaching policy. And whenever questions are given from the lessons of methodology in the competitive examinations, they have to be understood. They must be known to each and every aspirant, because to give the particular answer from the options, what are the options given very similar. An appropriate answer or accurate answer has to be selected by the aspirant. Otherwise they cannot achieve the marks and they cannot reach their goal. So that what my particular intention and the serious advice to each and every aspirant to know the methodology. Methodology is for not only teaching the lessons, it can be applicable in the real life also. The genuinity of teaching and the accuracy of teaching and the preparation for teaching also very important for a teacher. So teachers must know, and students also must have good idea regarding methodology. Methodology gives us a beautiful information how to teach the lessons and how to approach to teach the lessons. What are the different dimensions to teach the lessons, and what are the pedagogical principles of the lesson. Suppose if you want to know the brief idea about pedagogical principles, we can see some conditions. So now you see what are the pedagogical principles. Pedagogical principles are particularly taken as first one, motivation. Motivation is the first one. Whenever teacher enters the classroom, teacher has to give such motivation, because the students can have such disturbance of sitting in the classroom. At that time, teacher must give them such motivation to mold them into listening to the lesson which is going to be taught. Teacher must give such instruction through the motivation, but not warnings. So in this concept, motivation is very important part of pedagogical principles. And then for 10 minutes allotted for the motivation. After motivation, students can get such attention. To give them such attention, teacher has to motivate them. This is the main objective of pedagogical principles, the first one also. And the second one is concentration. Concentration. Whose concentration is this? Students' concentration. To concentrate over the subject, teacher must motivate them. Before going to teach a lesson, teacher must give them such motivation to listen the lesson and to know the importance of the lesson and what are the different advantages of listening to this lesson, teacher has to say. So that motivation is very particular reason from the pedagogical principles. After that, students can concentrate over the lesson to listen and to grasp the central idea of the teaching process. Regarding this, we have to know the second application of pedagogical principles is concentration. Next, we can see the third one. The third one is participation. Participation. So to know about participation, we have to get something. Participation means the students' participation. Whenever students concentratingly listen to the concept, teacher must understand whether they understood the concept or not. If the teacher knows they understood the concept, immediately teacher has to enter to ask them some simple questions. Whenever simple questions are asked, students can respond to say the answer, what are the appropriate answers for those asked questions. At that time, two types of questions we can see. One is a WH question, that is called direct question, and one is a yes or no answered question, that is called open-ended question. So whenever WH question is asked, the student has to give the description as the answer. So really, students can have no practice of giving the description of the answer, so that teacher should not ask such kind of questions. Teacher has to ask only open-ended questions, yes or no answered questions only. then students can easily respond to say the answer. That is called participation of the students after having completion of lesson concept. Then teacher can see whether the students are responding properly or not, whether the students are giving right answers or not. Teacher can see. After that, teacher has to go for the fourth one, that is called correction. Correction. What is meant by correction? Suppose student is asked a question. Student is not responding properly. Student is not giving the proper answer for the asked question. Some wrong answer is given by the student. Suppose some dimension is differently taken by the student. Then teacher has to understand, and teacher must tell him, this is not the way, your answer is right, but this is not the way. This is the way, like teacher has to correct his answer. Then student can feel very free. Student can feel very happy because teacher has not taken any action against him, but simply very friendly he has given some kind of reason how to tell the answer for the asked question. So that this fourth one is correction by the teacher, and next fifth one, feedback. Feedback. So what is feedback? Feedback is common after completion of the concept, after completion of the class, or after the time over of the class. Teacher has to take a few minutes time to give the information about the lesson and to take the information from the student side. Teacher has to ask them what is the name of the lesson, what is the title of the lesson, who is the writer of the lesson, and in feedback teacher must ask them, how is the lesson, have you understood or not, can you remember all these things or not, can you tell me the answers if I ask you any question from this lesson tomorrow. Like such type of questions can be asked by the teacher as a feedback. After taking the feedback from the children, teacher has to leave the class. These are the pedagogical principles. Whenever pedagogical principles are applied by a teacher, teacher can get a satisfaction and gratification of teaching the lessons in the classroom. So that we have to know not only pedagogical principles, what are the particular principles and particular reasons and particular dimensions of teaching language through all aspects. So, dear friends, we are going to see some more obligations, we are going to see some more information, we are going to see some sophisticated conditions to teach the modern conditions of English language teaching. For these competitive examinations, just like DSC, Gurukul and KV, such type of exams are being conducted by the state government and central government. While attending the examinations, the aspirants can feel very bad about methodology. As we are listening from the student side, methodology is a vast subject. There are so many reasons and dimensions in the subject, so that we are unable to find out the answers for the given questions in the examination like they are discussing. No way. This is not a difficult task. This is not a laborious task. This is not a very formal task, but very simple task. How do we know that it is simple task? Methodology divided into different lessons. What are the different lessons? If you see, we can understand one important lesson is history. History of English language education in India. From the beginning, whenever East India Company introduced this English medium of instruction in our country, Charles Grant, who was the chairperson of East India Company, introduced and got the title or an award, Father of English Education in India. Even though the East India Company authorities and the higher people of East India Company exposed their commercial trading in our country, so that they decided to give us learning English language. So for these examinations, up to date, everybody has to remember in which year they came to our country, in which year they proposed to so many principles to education, and in which year they got response from the Indian learners. These are all very, very important aspects to know. And for the examination point of view, only history means it has been taken into two divisions. What are the two divisions of this history? One is pre-independence era. Pre-independence era. Second one is post-independence era. What is pre-independence era? Before independence, the British government introduced English medium or English education in our country. In 1835, February 2nd, Macaulay's Minute was introduced. Macaulay says English medium is very important. Vernacular languages should not be taken into the formation. English education only can be applied in each and every school for the purpose of giving English knowledge to each and every Indian. Through the schools and colleges only this is applicable, this is possible according to their view. They said English blood is not applicable, but English culture can be habituated to the Indian students. It is very simple thing. Indians must be in color and blood of India, but they must have habits of English culture, they must have tastes of English culture, they must have each and every behavior of English culture. That is the reason of their motto. And pre-independence era, totally depending on their interest and concentration of giving the language education, English education, medium of instructions. Every school and college must maintain the medium of English. But it was not applicable then, even though they forcefully intimated all sorts of rules and regulations. Sometimes they applied fast and hard and fast rules. Even though Indian teachers, Indian students did not have great response to those conditions. So that what I say, after the independence, this is called post-independent era. We got our own constitution. We have our own education commissions. Each and every education commission gave some proposals to develop the nature of education, to develop the language proficiencies, to develop the Indian society education policy. Many universities concentrated over this, and many board of educations concentrated over this, so that this was very simple task to Indian commissions. This was very important task to the Indian commissions. Those commissions gave many instructions to the teachers and students also how to approach to practice the language. Dear friends, you must have some particular intention of learning methodology, then only you can study in depth of methodology, then we can understand what is methodology. So, as per my intention, as far as concerning to this methodology, what I say, the history of English education in India should be known, but we should not follow that for the competitive examination point of view. We have to take this, and we have to remember, and we have to retain the dates and the timings of those commissions and their sources. What are the resources provided from them must be known by every aspirant for getting on in the competitive examination point of view. So that what I say, the first lesson taken like this, and if we go to the second lesson, communication skills. This is very, very important aspect. After having known the history of English education in India, communication skills must be known, how to teach and what is the teaching proficiency can be understood. Communication skills, as per methodology, everybody knows, the students those who completed their D.Ed and B.Ed studies, they can have such knowledge of communication skills. They are LSRW: listening, speaking, reading and writing. Whenever listening practice is taken, student can grasp some kind of information from the all sources. Whenever speaking is practiced, person can give speeches on the dais, and getting habituation of giving speeches can teach in the classroom the lessons very easily. Speaking fluency is very important to every teacher. Speaking eloquency is also a very nice aspect in practice of teaching profession. And the third one is reading. By reading, everybody can receive so much of information, and more information can be given. The books, through the books only we can get so much information. By reading only we can get more. And by writing we can express our feelings, we can express our ideas, we can express our thoughts. Whenever we express our thoughts through the writings, everybody will observe that, everybody will get and understand the writing through the writing. These are the 4 skills. Those skills must be known by everybody. And what are the divisions of each skill, what are the communications, what are the different kinds of communicative abilities must be known. And then we can go for seeing the third lesson. The third lesson is approaches. Mostly this is also very important, approaches. Approach means what to teach. The content has to be taught. Approach is very important. What are the approaches? We can see 4 approaches are taken. 4 approaches are taken for the teaching of concept or for the teaching of content. The first approach is structural approach. What is the structural approach? The structures of English language has to be given to practice to each and every student according to Kothari Commission 1964 and 66. It was enlightened. As per that commission, every student in 6 years of education up to 10th class must know at least 250 structures was instructed by the commission. The second one is oral approach. The oral drills, oral practice has to be given. Situational condition, situational approach must be taken into oral approach. This oral approach gives us a beautiful information in a rapid manner, and particularly very fast thinking and fast kind of generative of thought has to be given by oral practice. Orally, teacher has to give the teaching to the students. Orally, teachers must ask them so many questions, very simple questions, daily activities, daily calls about. Regarding oral approach, orally student has to get English knowledge. By listening only they can get so much of grasping. So that oral approach is very important approach to teach the language, to give the retention to each and every student. Friends, the third one is audiolingual approach. What is audiolingual approach? This is very costly approach. Overhead projectors and all audio video systems have to be arranged in the classroom. It is not possible to Indian schools because India is not a developed country. Such expensive education cannot be given by Indian government, even though some government policies proposed to give the audiolingual approach to the students, but it was not possible to give them in olden days. Nowadays also, even though sophisticated technology is developed, audiolingual approach is not applicable to the Indian schools because the schools are in a very poor condition because of economical weakness. So that the fourth one is very useful, that is called, fourth one is communicative approach. Communicative approach. What is communicative approach? To communicate the language, every student has to learn how to express the ideas, how to behave at the time of speaking, what is the main condition of body language. This has to be known through communicative approach. Communication is very important word. Because of only communication, every man and woman can have reciprocality, either in positive or negative. Communicative balances must be maintained because language is very important to communicate each and everybody through writings or spoken. Communication from the teacher side, communication from the student side. If we see, students are very eager to say something to the teachers. Teachers must give facility to express their ideas. Then only they can maintain their communicative ability, they can utilize their communicative ability, they can maintain the fluency and eloquency in their regular education system. While preparing for the examinations, while preparing for the interviews, while going to meet anybody in a competition, the student must have a capacity of language. Whenever language proficiency is there, whenever language ability is made up of, student can have, a learner can have no fear and hesitation to do anything, then success will be in their hands. So that communicative approach also very important for learning. And then next lesson is fourth one. The fourth one is methods. Methods. We can see methods also 4 in number. They are grammar translation method. They are grammar translation method, direct method, and Dr. West's reading method, and bilingual method. So whenever these four methods are taken, method is indicating how to teach the concept, whereas approach is indicating what to teach. So how to teach? Through grammar translation method. Grammar translation method is an old method. It's an old method and a traditional method. J.V. Medinger, German scholar, says and advocates this method. Mother tongue is completely avoided in grammar translation method. But in direct method is only for teaching the language English, which is target language. English to English teaching is very instruction. English to English must be taught. No mother tongue or vernacular language is used for teaching the lessons. This is from direct method. And the third one is Dr. West method. West method says by reading only students can get more information. By reading only students can secure lot of message and lot of knowledge and perception. So that this method doesn't require any kind of grammar and punctuations. Whenever reading gives us a strength, easily we can grasp every kinds of speeches. Then bilingual method. This method is useful to all sorts of schools, urban and rural. In rural areas, the schools have to be maintained by the teachers with the culture of lowest generative approach, so that medium of instruction should not be managed here. 50% possibility has to be given to both languages, which are target language and vernacular language. So that what I say, in a particular way, these methods can give a learner and a teacher and a student and any aspirant what are the beautiful dimensions to teach the language through methodology. And the sixth lesson is, it has to be taken for teaching a textbook. Teaching a textbook. So what is teaching textbook? Textbook has to be taught. Textbook always gives perception. From the textbook, the divisions are made. One is prose, one is poetry, one is grammar, one is composition, one is a supplementary reader. These are all the divisions of a textbook. How to teach prose, how to teach poetry, how to teach grammar, composition and supplementary reader. Whenever teacher knows the reasons to teach them, beautifully teach and manage each and everything in the classroom. And prose lessons give the students what sort of strength. Poetry gives us what sort of strength. Grammar and the remaining things what are exposed here, the benefits, the advantages, kind of happiest receiving conditions must be taken from this lesson. And then we can see the 7th lesson is curriculum. Curriculum. Actually this is mixed with 6th lesson, and the 6th lesson means that is teaching a textbook, and the curriculum belongs to the textbook. How to prepare a textbook? What are the divisions of a textbook? What are the particular focuses of textbook preparation? Who are applicable to prepare the textbook? Curriculum Designing Center CDC can gather the information from the adepts. Successfully, a textbook has to be prepared, and the textbook has to be scrutinized before going to print it out. So that curriculum designing is very difficult task, even though presentation of the textbook is very important. Before going to presentation, there are different aspects in curriculum designing point of view. One is we can see in curriculum designing, selection is very important. Selection means selection of the lessons, selection of the lessons, selection of vocabulary is very, very important for each and every class. And the second one is gradation. So what is gradation? Vocabulary has to be graded based on the levels of the students, the capacity of the students, and the ability of the students. Gradation has to be taken. Active vocabulary, passive vocabulary, different words, structural words, content words, and form words are more in the language. But what kind of vocabulary applicable to the what kind of student has to be known by the curriculum designers. And the third one is presentation. Presentation. Selection and gradation are not enough. Presentation also very important. After selection of the lessons, after grading the vocabulary, how they have to be presented in the textbook, the designing proficiency people have to explain. Everybody has to know what is the curriculum designing. Everybody has to think over which kind of design is better for the students in the levels of education, as first standard ones, second standard ones, third standard ones, up to the 5th standard ones also. And then fourth one is, it is not considerable, but it is not counted, even though we have to feel that it is also very important, repetition. Repetition. Every kind of information what is given in each and every lesson, from that lesson what are the difficult tasks, what are the difficult forms, what are the difficult words, what are the difficult terms, they have to be selected and must be given at the end of the textbook. Then we can see all the words which are very difficult and important also given in the last pages of the textbook. The preparation of those words also very useful to the students at the time of writing the examination and learning the concepts from the textbook, and to remember all these things for any kind of benefit. So that repetition also very important. These are all taken in curriculum. Curriculum gives us a selection of content and the practice of that selection, and exposition of those selections can be given through this lesson. And the last aspect is evaluation. Evaluation also, a lesson, it is taken as a beautiful and useful lesson. The previous concepts must be evaluated, and even our real life situations, we can see every day everybody has to evaluate his character and activities also. In such a way, what my feeling about evaluation, it can be divided into two divisions according to S. Bloom. You can see these divisions. Evaluation is made as formative evaluation and summative evaluation. What is formative evaluation? This is linear process. Regularly we have to see what is going on. Teacher has to estimate the activities of the students day to day. Formative evaluation means the dress code of the students, the behavior of the students, the approach to listen the lessons of the students, and making activities by the students. Everybody has to be observed and everybody has to be scrutinized and remembered by the teacher at the time of school hours, at the time of school education. In formative evaluation only we can see all those things. And summative evaluation, the final results, the end of the activity, the end of the program, this evaluation is taken, that is called summative evaluation. Evaluation is very, very important, and at the time to evaluate the student's capacity, tests must be conducted. After the test, measurement is taken. After the measurement, evaluation is taken. So test is for testing the student, what is his capacity of education and educative knowledge. Measurement is after getting some information, after getting some knowledge, the teacher has to measure the knowledge of the students by giving some exercises and elocution and in debating competition. Such type of activities can be made for identifying the measurement of knowledge. So test is the tool of measurement. Test and measurements are the tools of evaluation. So that what I say, evaluation can be taken as a tripolar system according to S. Bloom. Tripolar. Educational objectives taken. Very first educational objectives are taken, and then learning experiences are taken. Learning experiences, and then evaluation is taken. So what are the educational objectives? The selections, gradations from the syllabi. Educational objectives must be selected first. After that, learning experiences of the teachers have to be sent to the curriculum designing center. Learning experiences must be produced in the curriculum designing center. Based on those evaluations, based on learning experiences of the teachers, based on evaluation, the modifications are taken by the authorities. So that what my intention is, these are all the lessons for methodology, dear students and aspirants. methodology is very sweetest subject for every teacher. Whenever we know the principles, we can follow to do anything very easily. Whenever we have no awareness of doing anything, we will face many troubles to do that. We will face many problems to do that. We can wait for the suggestions of the others. We can seek for the help of the others. So that before going to see anything, before going to learn anything, before going to know anything, we must have some interest. Without interest, nothing can be gained. Interest is very important. Intentional process of learning is very important. Methodology gives us such confirmation, the teaching policy. What are the disadvantages of a profession of teaching languages? Disadvantages are more, but they have to be corrected. Methodology can be framed by the great people, the great experienced people who have learning experiences in the teaching process. They can give us the suggestions how to follow, how to prepare, how to get efficiency in teaching the language, so that the names of the linguists, the names of the polyglots, the names of the experts and adepts of languages must be known, because according to their writings, according to their speeches, according to their expressions, everyone has to get a beautiful performance of teaching the languages. Dear students, totally what I say, the particular message, what is going to be explained by the teacher, must be studied before going to teach. While studying that concept, teacher must follow the methodology. Through the methods anything is learnt. Through the methods anything is given learning. That will be standard, that will be continued for a long time, whenever this is attracted by everybody, whenever this is respected by everybody. So, educational process, depending on system and approach of teaching, education process depending on such kind of structural language and phonological expressions. Phonology is very important for learning. Phonology is very important for speaking. Phonology is very important to express our ideas and to receive the ideas from the others. The greatness of speaker depending on two aspects. One is structural sentences and formal sentences with beautiful vocabulary, and one is pronunciation, accent of the language through the phonology. Different cultures can be counted here. The American culture, the British culture, all the different countries can have their own cultures. As per those cultures, we have to behave. Whenever we go there itself, we can utilize our intellectual feelings through that language. Regarding this, methodology can be taken into a process of work. Methodology is taken into a process of scientific activity. Then, whenever we go for writing the competitive examination through this subject, we must have good awareness of each and every title of the lessons, each and every approaches of the lessons, each and every central idea of the lessons. Then the synopsis can be given, The synopsis can be taken from each and every lesson. The important vocabulary, the terminology also taken for the guidelines. Even though the guidelines are given, vocabulary is used, structures are applied, beautiful version is made, sometimes we feel very bad if it is not to be understood. So, methodology can be taken into the aspect of learning as well as teaching, teaching as well as learning. And teacher made tests, standardized tests, these are the two different aspects. Standardized tests are very useful to all kinds of teachers to be alerted. Whenever we alert for all kinds of teaching objectives, we can teach very well, they can be taught very well, students can receive them very easily and very interestingly. So that what I say, methodology is the subject which gives us a pleasure in teaching process, in learning process, and in process of all manners. So, dear aspirants, for this competitive examination, for any kind of competitive examination, even though methodology is not the subject for that examination, we should apply methodology to write the answers for the given questions in the examination. Regarding this policy related to the grammar, related to the kind of different divisions of subject. So now if you see, in methodology, in methods, we can see grammatical approach, we can see pronunciation with phonology, we can see different vocabulary. Without vocabulary, no grammatical structures are taken. Without vocabulary, no situation can be expressed. Without vocabulary capacity, no concept is explained very freely and very easily. Pronunciation, because it is not a particular aspect, but while listening to the pronunciation of foreign people, pronunciation of very sophisticated speakers of India, by listening only we can get that kind of intention to have a process of speaking the language. And vocabulary, it is too difficult to remind immediately. It is too difficult to remember all the things, even though through the practical experiences, through the practical usage of language, through the usage of vocabulary, through the usage of things, we can understand what is the importance of vocabulary. Vocabulary is the backbone of language structures. Some different words are there. They can be used for some kind of particular situations. Some kind of words cannot be used every time. Some kind of words can be taken into regular communication. The regular communication has to be maintained by everybody, and the active vocabulary has to be used in every communicative process. So now, in a particular aspect, what I say, methodology is a beautiful subject, a methodology is a very useful subject, and methodology is very benefactor to the teacher and student also. While teaching grammar, some methods are applied. Deductive method, inductive method, we can see two types of methods, deductive and inductive methods. What is deductive method? What is deductive method? What is inductive method? What is inductive method? Deductive method is used for lower classes. It is a old method. After teaching the principles and directions, examples can be given. That is called deductive method. Before teaching the concept, example is given. Based on that example, concept is explained. That is called inductive method. Deductive method encourages the rules and regulations, but inductive method proposes only examples. Through those examples, lesson has to be taught. So this kind of grammar practice also a part. And one more aspect I would like to say, that is micro teaching. Micro teaching. Micro teaching and macro teaching are of two kinds. The simple reasons, the simple aspect, the simple conditions are made in micro teaching. Macro teaching, M-A-C-R-O, macro. Macro teaching is also very important, but whenever a lecture is being given in the classroom, that can be interestingly received by the students if it is a beautiful concept. That is called macro. It takes number of hours and number of days also. That is called macro teaching. Micro teaching is very simple teaching. The entire concept what is given in number of pages, the entire concept is taken into a few words. Whenever we read the few words, we can understand macro is better than micro is better than macro. So micro teaching, macro teaching, from these two, macro is not considered for all sorts of students. Micro teaching is very useful to each and everyone. Regarding this, the classroom adjustments, approach to the students, and giving priority to the concepts of the methodology is very, very essential to each and everyone. So that what my intention is, what my idea is, what my feel is, you must learn methodology and you must know the dimensions of methodology, and you must calculate each and everything through methodology, then success can be made up of. What is the success? Success doesn't come to us. We have to go to that. Success doesn't come to us. We have to go to that. But we don't know the address of success. Otherwise we can go. So that whenever we take risk and we strive for anything, then we can achieve. We can come across the seasonal reason of success. The seasonal reason of success. Success gives us strength. Success gives us a kind of potency. So, methodology, beginning with the history of English language, ending with evaluation, must be practiced by you. Then only it is very useful to the generation. Anyhow, for this concept, what I am going to say as a trial one, from the beginning to end, even though we knew so many things, whether we follow them or not also very important. Whether we not or follow. Somebody can say, but they cannot follow. Somebody can have an intention of following that, but he cannot say and he cannot express his feelings. So this is the way, this is only the way, this is the way only methodology to learn the teaching process. Anyhow, some methods, some principles, some rules, some regulations can be taken into consideration. Methodology proposes many dimensions. Methodology proposes many kind of reasons, and their names also can be given by methodology and principles of methodology. So particularly the skills, approaches, methods and teaching, the textbook, curriculum, evaluation, these are all not only the topics, they are the interrelated concepts. If you go for weightage of marks, if you go for the tables of the learning experiences, in evaluation we can see educational objectives, what is knowledge, what is motivation, and what are the different dimensions. We can see them in a particular aspect of methodology. So methodology is a subject with scientific reasons. Methodology is a science with so many definitions, and methodology is an art. It has so many developments, it has so many dimensions, it has so many colors artistically. So particularly those who are very much interested to go for competitive examinations, those who are very much interested to see what is the depth and what is the real perception of methodology, can read each and every objective of methodology. Methods are different kinds. Each subject consists of a method. Even though some similarities are taken, we should not say that all the methods are equal. In some areas they can have such equalness, in some areas they can have some kind of relations, but in all kinds of sources, in all kinds of reasons, we cannot see it as a combination of other subjects. Dear friends, we are the people of learning. We are the people of learning. Everybody has to learn. Learning is a great process. So learn the things through methods. Apply those things in your life. Use them into the examination. Get the benefit of your existence. In such a way, what I feel to say about methodology, methodology is not only a particular principle, methodology is a particular subject which consists of great knowledge, great revolution, great confidence also. So, dear friends, whenever methodology is being taught, now I am not teaching you the methodology, I am telling you, I am giving you such awareness to you about methodology. Methodology makes many dimensions. Methodology gives many reasons to do one thing, but common man cannot understand them. In a particular reason, if you see, the methods are useful to construct the language. The drills of The drills of language also very important. Teacher must give the drills, repetition drills, substitution drills, additional drills, conquered drills, different drills have to be provided. Those kind of drills give the student a potency, a particular capacity. So methodology is a normal subject to know, but abnormal subject to apply. It is a normal to know and abnormal to apply. Regarding this, I am going to conclude what are the things from the methodology, why they are applicable, why they are useful, how they are useful, where they are useful, you should know. So each and every lesson can be taught. From each and every lesson some sublines and some examples and some the names of writers and the importance of those things can be taught. Then you better know, you better learn, you better practice for the not only real life existing position, examination existing position also has to be taken. This is the way, this is the particular drill, and additional drills also. Additional drills also have to be managed by the teacher. Whenever additional drills are given, student can grasp more information from the additional drills. The drills which are used, the drills which are given to the students, they have to be managed by the students and they have to be protected by the teachers. Simply what I say, if you learn methodology lesson by lesson, from each lesson what are the synopsis, main objectives, on which object we have to comment, in which concept we have to make up the reason, methods can say. Regarding this, methodology is not a ordinary concept. This is a special concept and very costly concept. The phonology also taken into this. The phonology also taken into methodology. Phonology related to pronunciation of the language, particular accent of the language, the slang of the language, how the language has to be pronounced very properly, that has to be known by the teacher and student also. And in a kind of emotion, body language cannot be applied properly. In a kind of emotion, body language completely avoided by the student or teacher, then that will become very easiest and beautiful task. So that methodology subject has been taken into consideration. Methodology subject is the life subject to the language proficiency, and at the time we have to feel very happy if we existed. In examination point of view, if you listen to the concept of lessons, if you listen to the each and every lesson of the textbook, then you can answer for every question which is given to your examination. And in methodology, there are so many obligations. Those obligations can have some solutions. Writing is a process. It is named and called questioning and answering. puzzling and answering, problem creation and problem solving. This program, this aspect can be given to the methodology and its in-depth of the subject, so that we are able to see, we are able to read, we are able to speak, we are able to write. These are the communicative abilities. Listening, writing, reading, speaking, that order is not useful according to Harold E. Palmer. The order of the communication skills also taken. What is the order? LSRW. The order of skills is taken by Harold E. Palmer. So dear friends, we are the people of education, we are the people of learning, we are the people of teaching the lessons and receiving the lessons reciprocally. By means, methodology gives us a particular support to teach the lessons. Methodology gives us a particular focus on the lessons, how to teach them. One more thing I am going to say, learning vocabulary depending on not only dictionary, it has to be, vocabulary has to be learned through different ways. What are they? One is the vocabulary condition is taken into different directions. One is synonymical vocabulary, one is antonymical vocabulary, one is phrasal vocabulary, one is idiomatic vocabulary, synonymical, antonymical, phrasal, idiomatic, and one word substitutes. One word substitutes. Homophones and homonyms. These are all the directions, these are all the ways to learn vocabulary. Not only from dictionary, vocabulary has to be taken from all sources. Many sources are there, those have to be utilized. Many sources are there, those have to be utilized. So, learning vocabulary, learning grammar, learning the structures of language can be practiced by each and everybody. So dear friends, the conclusion of this concept, this is not enough. So many reasons, so many divisions, so many classifications, so many applications, most of them can be discussed through each and every lesson in the process of methodology education system. So, from the beginning, each and every classification, from the beginning, each and every reason, you better learn, you better note them, you better practice them, you better apply them in the examination point of view. So that my sincere advice to all of you, by reading we cannot get every knowledge of methodology. By securing the experiences from all sources in the society also, a kind of learning through methodology. A man who is adept in all sources, a man who is omniscient, a man is omnipotent, a man is omnipresent, that feeling can give us a great happiness, a blissness, and a kind of mirth. My dear friends, methodology, particularly for English subject, has to be learnt for learning objectives, for learning experiences, for learning all useful things for the profession of teaching, for the profession of learning. So learning as well as teaching, teaching as well as learning, always reciprocated and always respected. So this is the concept about methodology. Thank you.